Are y'all already making puns in chat? I was gonna say funs. Puns in chat. Are you already making puns? Don't you scatter, Ganon. Get your ass back here. Get your ass back here and sit down, mister. Welcome in, guys. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I feel like, hold on. I feel like I'm slightly to the side. Hold on. We're just gonna. Okay, there we go. No screaming! I am the one that screams. Well, actually, technically not. I am the one that causes the screaming. Never mind. Carry on. Carry on. You may continue screaming. Yes. What is it, Sunstar? What are you fingy touching? What are you fingy touching? Can you cause ice cream? Only during the summer. Only during the summer. How did I miss the alleged puns? Let me see. Let's scroll up. I mean, we had famous, and then I think there was something. I thought I saw another pun. Was there another pun besides famous?
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Famous. You don't make people scream out and people are too busy laughing at that fucking hair. What do you mean hair? My hairline's fantastic. How dare you? How dare you? I cast Doro? No, not tired Doro. Doom Oro. Amazing. Amazing. But welcome in, guys. If you happen to miss last night. Jarathi, how can you turn on me like that? Yes, Astral, what can I do for you? I cast a megaphone. Ah! Oh, hold on. I can do better. Where is it? I cast a megaphone. Ah! Thoughts on Deadeye? Oh, did you answer? I'm sorry. I missed the DMs. You play NA? Oh shit. Oh shit. No, I haven't seen Deadeye. I've seen nothing of what Deadeye can do in Black Desert. I have seen nothing of it. Is it like is it AoE or is it single target? She sounds like she'd be crazy fun. The damage is insane. I'm not surprised. Let me guess. One of her abilities is basically like Reaper's ult or Star-Lord's ability where they just kind of shoot all of shotguns. RPG. Wait a second. Wait. How many weapons does she have? How many guns can she pull out? 2 spinny shooties? I like the spinny shooties. I like the dual pistols, okay? The dual pistols are my jam. But I may download Black Desert again, because that game is pretty fun on occasion. Like with Scholar. Oh, what's the awakening weapon? Sorry if y'all hear Coco barking. She's been doing that all day, and I don't know why. She might be barking at a squirrel. There's a high chance she's barking at a squirrel. But you know, as you do. Ordain, thank you for the... Oh, I didn't realize that was the stream streak, that I cast megaphone thing. But, guys, I need to tell you about something because it's on my fucking mind. Last night, if you don't know, on Sunday nights, we typically do a Vampire the Masquerade campaign taking place in the U.S. Midwest in a fictional town called Deadhampton Pines. It's crazy fucking fun, and I did some psycho shit last night. So if you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It should be saved in highlights if you go check out let me see. GM the Game Monster. Yeah. I highly recommend it. It's really fun. We're really getting to the meat and potatoes, and I may have accidentally started a solo boss fight. Is the Z Cups funded yet? It's not happening. I'm not doing it. Although I could use some fun money for tomorrow night since I'm going drinking with Fairbanks. We'll see what happens. I don't have a lot of money. I had budgeted for it, and then my battery died, and now I have no budget. It ate my budget. It ate all my budget. Deadhampton Pines. Unfortunately, it is not Deadhampton Pines, although there are a lot of dead things. And I may or may not have something to do with them, but that's besides the point. Don't worry about that. Who here is I eat a mint instead of brushing my teeth lazy? Carrie. Ganon, trust me. 2.0s is going to be plenty big enough. Do I need to get y'all like a quick screen grab or something? Let me see really quick what I can get for y'all. Because I think I have some screenshots already done, so I don't have to like swap models. Yeah, we'll go with this one. And then let me do a thingamadoohickey. Because now I need to crop it in. Make it quite large. And then crop it again. Okay, that'll do. That'll do. There you go, chat. There you go. Sorry if it's a little fuzzy because this is a zoomed in and cropped version of like a picture of the whole model. But this is what you get. This is the thing that you get. Shut the fuck up, Gannon. You fucking goofball. All right. Hold on. Before I forget, let me uncrop this behemoth of a thing that I had to like shrink down a whole lot. Okay. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. It's that it being fuzzy. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean it being fuzzy? In person? Gannon? I don't believe you. Wait. Also, I didn't say I'd do that. I'm asking. I have my toothbrush beside me in a box. Why is it beside you? Why isn't it in the bathroom? As I recently just had a root canal and crown, I can assure you that's not a good idea. True. Gotta scrub all those sugars off. That's what you gotta do. You gotta scrub all those sugars off, otherwise you get cavities and like your teeth start feeling nasty. I'm kicking him. My brother till the 18th. Oh, never mind. Carry on. Did you put a lock on that box? This is an important question. Did you put a lock on that box? You have to be honest with me. Way dirtier than beside you. Okay, maybe. But it's also the thing with my bathroom is my bathroom had the toilet and the sink are in different rooms. I like that. I like it that way. That's a little more hygienic. That's a little more hygienic. I think I talked about the things that I wanted to. Let me double check something really quick. I think I've forgotten one thing, and I think I know exactly what it is. Let me just where is it? Where is it? Ah, there it is. Okay. You guys need to go do one other thing for me. We'll call it a survey mayhaps. Just let me do a little check on something. Question mark? Okay, this is perfect. It's perfect. We'll just go ahead and we're gonna swing over to this other screen really quick, and y'all are gonna go check out my wife, Faye! Go give her some love. She's only a few hours away from getting fucking watch hours so she can get YouTube partner. It's okay, she's not listening. She can't hear me. There's nothing she can do to stop me. Pants chat, lube lord. It's okay. Hold on. Let me get y'all the link. There you go. Go check out her YouTube. Get her partner. She already hit the 1K, thanks to a lot of y'all. And she just needs the watch hours now. So go check out a bunch of her stuff. Go, what's the word? Swing on in. Check out the history of pants. She also has a bunch of playlists. You can listen to them all in a row. She's hilarious. Don't let her try to convince you that she's not hilarious and extremely knowledgeable. Go do the thing. Go do the thing. You should do the thing. Also, watch a bunch of her shorts. Watch a bunch of her shorts. If you have low attention span. All right, that's it. That's my thing. That's my doohickey. And she's not here to stop me. Yeah. Has it been 5 minutes? I think it's been... Oh, 4 minutes. Okay, 4 minutes. I don't get my babs back yet. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. All right, chat. It's time for the hate. It's time for our usual hate session, okay? There's only one person that we hate more than anything in here. Y'all know the one item we talked about a couple days ago? There's one item that's like for sale by a certain somebody. Me? No, Astral, I don't hate you at all. In fact, I adore you. You are goddamn delight. But me? No, I don't hate any of y'all. Except Cowboy. No. No, Gannon, I don't hate you. Okay. But no, it's the elongated muskrat. The elongated muskrat. Have y'all heard of... Actually, did y'all hear that Elon Musk got outed on his alt account, where he would essentially try to defend himself by pretending to be somebody else, using what could only be described as the shittiest voice changer? Wait a second. Hold on. Holding on. What's the deal, Carrie? What's the deal? What's the shenanigans? Body was dancing in the moonlight. It's almost as bad as when he got outed for age. Oh, for what? Blech. Sorry. That is not my bread and butter. That is not my bread and butter. Hate that, please and thank you. Oh, I think I remember that, where he was pretending to be like a teenager or something. And I think it's the same thing with I don't think he's trying to be a teenager. I forget though. Interesting. Oh! What the fuck? Drathy! Drathy, did you just pay to the bar fund? Can you somehow see this? A wire chat a few million? God, I wish. God, I wish. I'd be like, all right, chat 2.0 is getting a skip. We're going straight to 3.0. I'm going to go hire Kamachiro. And I'm going to rush order it. So, you know. Man is the epitome of career suicide. The man had no career. He's bought everything he had. He's not smart. He's not clever. The best thing he's ever done is probably hired some kind of consulting firm that tells him how best to use his money to maximize profits. And that's how he became one of the richest people on the planet. Mabian? Wait. Marbian? You said you put it in Discord? Where'd you put it? Media share? What am I looking at? Marion hates me the most? I don't hate Ganon. I'm confused. What am I looking at? Oh, the stray thing where for some reason my picture is next to yours, like we have shared chat. That is weird. Hold on. I don't think it's on my end. Let me see. No, it's not on my end. Yeah, not at all on my end. I think it was just a weird flub up on like Twitch's end. Because that's the icon that shows up whenever you're doing like a shared chat with somebody. And I don't have Stream Together open at all. I don't think. It was for, yeah, that's the even funny thing. It was for one message, which is why I think it was just a flub up. Hearing the dead internet theory in 2014, hearing the dead internet theory in 2024. Ugh. All right, how many people know the dead internet theory? Off the top of your head, how many of you know the dead internet theory? It was yeah. Best use of money is wiring us at least $10 million. Hear that, Elon Musk? You should give me like $1 million. And I will totally shill for you. I'm not signing a contract though. I will totally shill for you. I'll do a 180. I'm not signing a contract though. I also won't sign an NDA. Just give me $1 million and I will say one positive thing about you. I will say one positive thing about you. Come on, $1 million is nothing to you, Mr. Musk. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's nothing to you. You don't need it. All you do is try to throw your money around at stupid shit all the time. I require one Google company as payment. One whole Google company. Oh my God. All I ask is enough money to start an entire dice making operation without ever having to start doing it with my own hands. And I can just start paying other people to do it. No contracts or NDAs, but I can be bought. Exactly. Exactly, Astral. It's I can be bought. No contracts or NDAs, but I can be bought. And then the second I have the money, it's Jover. It's Jover. It's fine. It's fine. Marigo 2025. Hell yeah. I wanted to have a trailer done for y'all, but we haven't had much time. Feel my data hoarding needs. Oh my God. Just get Sunstar a massive server. Oh. Oh. G-Man! Thank you for 11 months. Holy shit. Holy shit. Thank you for buying a season pass. Wait. Oh, it is Monday. I was about to say, wait. Why did the weekly passes reset? Oh, because it's Monday. Duh. Duh. Almost a year. You got one more month. You'll hit that 1 year in January. What the heck? Oh, no. Will Ferrell dressed up as Buddy the Elf for the Kings game at basketball. Amazing. He looks so upset, though. He looks so upset. But I was looking to see if there's any other news, but I... Oh. Army 5 million, now make some shitty memes for the meme account. Let's go. Mr. Musk, if you give me only $1 million, I will run your alt account. I will run your alt account for you so that you stop getting caught. I can't believe that man has not thought of that, just to hire some other shill just to run an alt account for him. Granted, I don't even know why he has to do that when there's plenty of other people that already just fucking shill for him naturally. Oh, okay. Why is there... Oh, it's because this is scrolling through the news. For a split second, it turned to like a bunch of VTubers and some art. And I was like, wait, why am I on my feed? Because they saw like arcane art. I was very confused. Police have applied to the court for an arrest warrant for South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol. This was reported by the Office of Anti-Corruption Investigation for high-ranking officials. His powers were suspended December 14th as a result of an impeachment in Parliament, the office said. That's amazing. I love seeing South Korean news recently. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I saw pictures of Wolverine and Deadpool and thought they were talking about that they were adding Deadpool super soon to Marvel Rivals, but it turned out it was Fortnite. God damn it. I've been robbed again. I'll run it into the fucking grounds. Ganon, what is that? Ganon. What is that? What is that? What are you doing? What? Why are you like this? Blame Finn? Wait, is it because it's Finn's hand and the leash? Is that why? Is that the reason? Deadpool got leaks, don't worry. I know he's coming to Marvel Rivals. I just didn't know if he was coming super soon by when I saw that, which is why I was like, oh, he's coming out like after the winter event maybe, or season 1 or something, but no. Nope, not a chance. Not a chance. Baron just said the phrase, time to start drinking again. Drinking what? Water, right? You're drinking water. Water. Right, Ganon? /meal from Throne was for drinks friends seemed most appropriate. Thank you, Jirathi. The thing is, I think we're going tomorrow. And then what is it? What song is this? Hold on a second. Oh, it's Disturbed. Okay. I'll keep playing it. Jesus. I'm brain farting. Withdrawals always take so long? Wait, what the hell? Scheduled. I wish I could actually change my fucking thing because I have not gotten the what is it, mass pay or something. I have not been able to get stuff transferred, change it to mass pay from Stripe. I've been stuck on Stripe this entire time. Let me do this, and then I'm actually gonna have to, I think I have to go check my Stripe account. Because it always feels like it takes so goddamn long. for Stripe to do anything. And I hate it. I hate it. But I use Stripe for a lot of things. Oh, wait, that didn't work? Oh, maybe is it? Let me try this. Just use it. Okay, I guess it uses a different email. Hello? Hello? Work, damn you. Wait, that's not it either? What? God, I hope I didn't change it to something that I don't typically use as a password. Fuck. Ah, damn it. Scatter Abby. Abby's here. Hi, Abby. Points at Samuel. Samuel. Wait, when did I get that funny diamond? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Also, god damn it, Acequake. Can't have nice things anywhere in here. A weeble. A weeble. Gotta hit him with a weeble. A weeble. Look at that ptarmigan. Fantastic. Adorable little creatures, really. Apparently good eating. Apparently very good eating. But I think they're all dark meat. I'm pretty sure ptarmigan's all dark meat because it's a game bird. Mom's gonna tell Mango. Tell Mango what, Ganon? What am I gonna tell Mango? What could I possibly tell Mango? I clipped the video for myself. Nodders? Nah, it's no big deal. Nah, it's because when 2.0 comes around, I'm actually going with like very subtle alerts. Like right now, it's basically metal music. But with 2.0, it's just gonna become much more subtle. Anytime there's gonna be more alerts. Now you get to choose what candy I indulge in. In front of me, I have M&M's, Reese's Pieces done. Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces. Or mint chocolate bars. I like mint chocolate bars. But what about obnoxiously big bit alerts? Oh, those are going to be a part of the thing. I'm talking more about like, so like follows, subs, and well, I'm actually going to make something for tier 3 specifically. But that's a secret. I'm not going to tell y'all what that's going to be. Then the current alerts will be the old alerts. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's bar chunks, not a full bar, so the candy cane of Reese's Pieces. Then yeah, do the Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces, but pretend to be E.T. I'm more thinking of James Woods from Family Guy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Why can't I sign into my fucking account? Maybe I forgot my password? I guess I did. All right. Okay. Now I gotta go check my email. Neat. Where am I? Who are you people? There we go. Current alerts will be old alerts. This means the old alerts will be even older. Yep. They'll be ancient. They'll become ancient. I'm sorry. But good Lord.
Enjoy the show.
Check spam. Huh? Okay, this is a scam. Yeah, this is a scam. Spam. I would think your payment of $2.5 million. Sure. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, strange email that ends in gmail.com. I still jump whenever the segment of that song that I forget the name of comes up on my playlist, even though I haven't been fast enough for shoutouts in a long time. You thinking of the raid ones? 5 seconds after what Marin said? Wait, what? If it's me in there again, I'm gonna be pissed. Oh my god. But, well, I haven't gotten an email, so maybe I did it on the wrong email. Maybe it's on my other email. Chat, don't ever do what I do and have 4 emails because this is a nightmare. Oh, wait, that one worked. Okay. I can reset my password now. Hooray! And if this tells me this is my current... Not strong enough. My password must be stronger. I see. Yes. Ridiculous. If it tells me that this was the password before, I'm going to be so upset. Oh, cool. And of course I was smart, and apparently I actually fucking gave myself double verification, which is kind of funny. There we go. There we go. Well, I don't have 4 personal emails. I have 2 personal emails and technically 2 VTuber emails. One is like to sign up for games, and the other one's business. I need the throne one. This is a weird thing about using Stripe is you have multiple accounts apparently that all like bind together. Oh God, I gotta do verification again. No, I have a Hotmail. I have, let me think. I have a Hotmail, I have 2 Gmails, and then I have a... Oh, what's the other one? Wait, did that not go through? Did I misspell it? Misspelled numbers, apparently. Because apparently I'm a fucking goob. But... Paid... What does succeeded mean? What does succeeded mean? What? Balance? Okay. I guess that's fine. But it looks like some stuff hasn't been sent to them yet. Oh. Raggle fraggle. Wait, actually, go back to that real quick. Where are you sending the payment, Stripe? Where is my payout information? Okay, no, that's the right payment information. Okay. Okay, if you say so. All right, I think that's enough. That's enough of that shenanigans. Now you have my full focus, chat. I'm sorry I had to do that random nonsense on stream, because I've been curious about how the Stripe payouts have been working, and shit's a nightmare. Because Stripe kind of sucks. But, you know, it works better than PayPal generally. Thanks, PayPal, for being an international fucking travesty. Hi, Sin. Hold on, let me see. Only 4 I have a Hotmail, Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, 2 different college emails, a private domain with my own email server, and my VTuber mail. Jesus. Also, when are we playing Death Note game? Wait, there's a Death Note game? Death Note game. Killer Within? Is that the one? It's on Steam. Also, who's we? I just want to see what this fucking... What the hell? Death Note. Killer Within is an online social deduction game for up to 10 players. Players will be split into 2 teams with different objectives. To win the game, players will need to figure out each other's identities and either eliminate L, who threatens Kira's power, or seize the Death Note. But it looks like it's done in the fashion of like a board game between Elle and Kira. At least that's kind of what it looks like. It seems interesting. Oh my God, it's only $10 and it's on sale for $7.50. Too bad I have no more monies for games. Gotta wait for those transfers, because those transfers take forever unless you do it through Kofi. Yeah. That's what it seems like. Let me see. Death Note Killer Within is an online social deduction game for up to 10 players. Players will be split into 2 teams. Okay, that's the same definition. Enjoy a battle of which as Kira or his follower, or as L and the investigators in the world of Death Note. As equally matched opponents, the 2 teams clash to control the game while hiding their true identities from each other. The Death Note is hidden among the players, leading to a thrilling game of cat and mouse until one team overpowers the other. Each role has its own characteristics, allowing you to master a deep sense of strategy and tactical play. Depending on your assigned role, a wide range of strategies can be formulated, and each randomized scenario develops into a high-stakes game of tactics. Supports crossplay for large groups of players. Customize your character avatar with up to 7 types of unlockable items. Pick a custom nameplate and select a special animation displayed during your dramatic moments of gameplay. Special editions also available. Please take note not to make duplicate purchases. The game is meant to be played online only. It cannot be played in offline mode. Voice chat recommended, internet connection required, and service and its contents are subject to change or end without prior notice. That does sound interesting. What is this? Oh no. Final Spin! Oh, geez. Final Spin, a 2 to 4 player online party game about risking your life for the thrill of high stakes gambling. Use your items wisely to gain an edge over chance and play until you are the last person standing. So it's basically... Yeah, it looks like a gambling version of, what was it? Shotgun Roulette? Something like that? What was that other... Right? It was called Shotgun Roulette, I think. Buckshot Roulette. That's what it is. Yeah. Buckshot Roulette was the game I was thinking of. Also, abducted by aliens. Thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I missed that earlier. Jesus. The alert probably went off and I thought it was part of the music that was playing. I am so sorry. Kira and Kira's followers can steal IDs, and Kira can give the book to their followers. More complex than I expected. Interesting. That does sound interesting, but I think right now my current deduction game that I want to play more of is Nuclear Nightmare, which I do need to get another group together for that. I'm probably just going to get the group that we had before and then grab more of the people that weren't able to make it last time. Going to bed. Good night, Ordain. Sleep well, sweet prince. Sleep well, sweet prince. Go tuck yourself in. Been playing on pubs though. Usually whenever there's those social deduction games and stuff, I'm not the biggest fan of playing in public matches. So I don't typically do it. Like, I've never played Among Us in public servers. I've never played Phasmo on public servers. Never done Helldivers on public servers. I'm a kind of person that's like, I gotta, get a group together for it. You gotta do what you gotta do, Sin. You gotta go screaming in Rin's Discord. Rin likes party games. Rin does like party games. Poke him in the side. Poke Rin in the side. You could probably get him to do it. And it'll be fine. Probably. I scrim, but no one scrim back. Rin! How could you not scrim back? Also, hi, Moosin. How could you do this? How could you? Oh. Oh, that's terrifying. I'm just gonna scroll right on past that and just keep moving. Because the computer's a Dumbo? Probably because you can't export and do anything else at the same time. To put a collar on Rin? Oh, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be hard at all. It would not be hard whatsoever. Wait, what is this? Friendly roast. You spend more time rigging feet than touching grass. Your priests are so spicy they need holy water cooling systems. You're the only artist who gets excited about making things bald. Your live 2D models are more alive than your social life. You're so thirsty for Zhongli, even Genshin's water elements are jealous. What the fuck? Damn. Damn! Harsh. Harsh. But what time is it? 4:40? Carrie, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Oh no. Daddy Dong Li? What? Hi, Pinky. Dong Li? Really? Carrie? Really? Are you proud of yourself? Try to call her Rin? Try as if it would be hard? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? What the heck is this art piece? I've mostly been playing Norland and Clanfolk. I haven't played Among Us in a bit. Clanfolk. I don't know what either of those are. Hold on. Norland. Okay. And Clanfolk. Cease and desist. Anyway. Lead your noble family in a medieval colony sim. Ooh. Oh, this looks goofy. It looks like a goofier version, medieval goofy version of like RimWorld. Weirdly. In the way that all the characters kind of look like pieces. Oh, and some just Clanfolk. Okay. Yeah, these are just rethemed RimWorld. Which apparently Hooded Horse has on sale, which is the developers for these games. Yo, workers and resources, Soviet Republic. Let's go. Who wants to do a city builder in the Soviet Republic? Happy early New Year's Eve. Time to party with good food, good drinks, and wiggles. Offer to boss. Well, thank you, B. WRSR is pretty neat. It seems interesting. It's 50% off right now. Let me see. Built the Soviet Republic from an impoverished country into a rich industrial superpower in a city builder with intricate production chains and a fully simulated global economy. Manage the lives of your citizens from education to work and party loyalty to criminal activity. Uh-huh. Build a glorious nation. That's kind of interesting. Looking at it and looking at the interface they're like showing off in the trailers and stuff, it seems neat, but it also looks very, very crude when compared to like city skylines. Like, I'm looking at the interface and it gives me anxiety, weirdly enough, because it's simplistic, which I guess is the point. I guess that's the point. Black market, if government controls black market, workers and resources has a Ukrainian DLC where the money from buying it goes. Oh, wait, that's actually kind of cool. Wait for this game. Oh, the trailer was actually playing sound. I was like, what is that sound? Hello? But hold on, let me see this DLC. Help for Ukraine. There it is. Soviet Republic requires base game. Okay. What do you get with it? Oh, you get a bunch of buildings. Okay. Oh, that's cool. You get a whole bunch of like, you get a bunch of like iconic buildings and stuff from Ukraine and vehicles. Landscapes? Oh, and a location. Okay. I'm guessing that's just like a starting location. That's really cool. It is $5. $5. $5 whole dollars. But okay. Oh, hold on. Random question, guys. How many of y'all have played, what's it called? Awaria, the new game made by the guy who made Helltakers. How many of y'all have played that game? Or even looked at it? It's free, by the way. If you haven't already, go get it. It's free. It's free. It's free if you want more like stray waifus that you can obsess over for several years in a row, like Helltakers. Go do it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Didn't even know it existed? You should go check it out. Here, I can actually do this really quick. I can grab y'all the link for it. Boop. Go check it out. It's really neat. It's really cool. It's not like, let me think, how did Helltakers work exactly? Helltakers did something like, you had like limited number of movements and you had to like sneak past puzzles and stuff. This is more of like, you're working as a, I don't know if you're on a space station. I can't remember that right now. But you're essentially a repair person. You're a repair person in some sort of, okay, you're in maintenance tunnels of some kind, it says on the side here. You work on maintenance tunnels and there's ghosts. And the ghosts are what you think they are. I promise you. The ghosts are what you think they are. And when you win around, you get to kiss the ghost. You get to kiss the ghost, chat. The ghosts are kissable. Hi, Sunstar. What's wrong? What's wrong, Sunstar? Do you not want to go kiss the ghost? Do you not want to, I don't know, make a little bit of money doing your job? Well, fairly gorgeous little spectral entities chase you around and try to keep you from doing your job. Is this not to your liking? Van Ripper on brand? Oh, is that one of the characters? I don't remember. To take over whatever short form posting social media you choose to use. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of bothering Claude to do it, but I don't know if Claude can do that art style. Kind of be cool to either be a ghost or be like one of the repair people. Oh, but what if it was art as me as the repair person, but I'm far more terrifying than the ghost? Oh, this is genius. Claude! Do work, get money, and ghost smooches? The things I will try to get out of Claude. The things I will try to get out of Claude. But I don't think Claude's ever done something like that. I'm pretty sure, hold on. I'm pretty sure I do have a Helltaker style art. Give me a second. Art. Artedid. In fact, I know I do. Where is it? There it is. I found it. I found it. Okay. Bah. There you go. There you go. There's the old Helltaker piece. What do you mean, tippies? What do you mean, Cannon? Hi, Jade. So we're already obsessed over the fire one? Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I've only played a couple levels of it. I think I've only seen the first 2 ghosts. I'm pretty sure it's only the first 2 ghosts. Yeah, I do have it as a PNG. Bleh. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, there's a PNG version. Here's the closed mouth one. Not very closed, but it is closed somewhat. It's fun. I like the Helltaker one. I like the Helltaker art style. It's very simplistic, but also very interesting. But if you do that, we can go ahead and put that away. Is the Stendo neck one? Hold on. Where is it? There it is. Here, let me get the Tommy one. There it is. This one? Is this the one that you like? Ugh. Oh, sorry. Something got caught in my throat there for a second. Ugh. Yeah, you know, the super Stendo neck. Could pole dance on that. Shut up! God damn it, Carrie. God damn it, Carrie. Here's the more normal Stendo neck. There you go. There you go. Look at him. Look at that little creature. That creature's up to no good. Nothing good comes out of those eyes. A week when she makes queso money? Oh, I would. I would give you that. I would give you all that amount of money if I was making queso money. Listen, if I was on the level of queso, y'all would be actually you'd probably be getting more than that. I'm pretty simplistic. I don't need a lot of money. I remember the last time I saw it speaking was that the normal was no neck version. Yeah. Here, where is it? Because when it's not talking, it looks like that. Just a little creature, up to no good. Hiding in the corner. Anyway. Hold on, what other things do I have here? Ah, yes. That's too big. That's too big. Dang, Zeppy. I can't believe you made Glep so huge. Yeah, look at him. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. A sweet little shit. How dare you? I'm simplistic. I need a lot of money. I would like to have more money so I can do more projects and stuff for y'all. But like in terms of like necessities and after like stuff's paid for, I don't need a whole lot. Because like even if I made something like Zentrea money, I don't think I could ever convince myself to do like a new model a month like she does. Okay, Ganon, that's way too much. You were not getting that much. You were not getting that much. I don't know how much does queso make? I'm curious. Let me see. Because that's probably semi-available. How much does... No, I don't want to know how much queso weighs. He has 60,000 live subs as of right now. That's from 11 months ago. 225,000 off subs. Oh, here, there's stream charts too. Let me see. What is he making right now? What is he making, say, like this month? Currently active is nearly 54,000 subs. Estimated income is between 67 and 135,000. I don't think that math is mathing. Wait a second. Yeah, I don't... Wait. Okay, I don't think this is right. Because according to all of these counts, Queso doesn't have a single tier 2 or tier 3 sub. It's all prime subs and tier 1s. To math, the numbers, what do they mean? Nothing. Don't worry about it, Faye. You totally didn't miss anything. You didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss nothing. No, but we're trying to figure out, like, what was it? Ganon earlier was like, how much would you give us if you made queso money? So I'm like trying to figure out how much queso makes. But yeah, according to this chart, queso doesn't have tier 2 or tier 3 subs. It's 2K a month is a lot. That's true, Ganon. If I was making that much, then yeah, I would probably be able to give the mods a decent chunk every month. I do know another creator that technically she has like a second house on her property and her mods live there, which I think is hilarious. I come back. I probably wouldn't do that. I'm saying that now. I probably would not get a mod house. I would not get a mod house. But yes, I do know somebody that has a house for their mods. Huh? Don't you huh me? You heard me. You heard me. All right, we have 5 minutes until the ad break, which means we also have about 8 minutes until we get into our new job at the cabin factory. Which I've actually purposely avoided watching too much of the Cabin Factory. I've only seen like little bits here and there. But wait, Rama's only played this game 40 minutes and Finn's only played it an hour and a half. How long is this game? To keep the mods in? Oh my god, are we gonna make a second longhouse? Faye, hold on a second. Faye, I'm telling you right now though, if you did that, do you want Carrie or Ganon or Sunstar within 100 miles of you? Be honest. Be honest. I'll be Carrie with a stick. I'll be Carrie with a stick. I'll be like the fucking spider from Hey, I don't do much. I don't know, Carrie. I don't know. I don't trust you eating people out of house and home and then the home. Was in the same country? Oh, that'd be be interesting to find like a Viking longhouse in like Nova Scotia. I wonder. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta do a thing. Now I have history on the mind. This is important. North American Viking settlements. That's what I want. I want to know Lons Old Meadows, first and only known site established by Vikings in North America, and its earliest, first excavated in the 1960s. It was a Norse settlement dating to approximately 1,000 years ago. The site is located in the northernmost tip of the island of Newfoundland, or Newfoundland? It's Newfoundland, right? In the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, near St. Anthony. Carbon dating estimates between 990 and 1050 CE, or the median date of 1014, and a tree ring dating of 1021. Only undisputed site of pre-Columbian transoceanic contact of Europeans with the Americas outside of Greenland. It is notable as evidence of the Norse presence in North America and for its possible connection with the accounts of Leif Erikson in the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red, which were written down in the 13th century. Archaeological evidence suggests the settlement served as a base camp for Norse exploration of North America, including regions to the south. I'm also easier to feed than Carrie. I normally have one meal a day. Relatable. Oh, I can have these back. Please and thank you. She just pretends to forget that my food crimes are specifically for people who do things to me. No. This isn't about your food crimes, Carrie. This is about how much food you put back. Your parents have got to be in... Your dad owns a business, if I remember right, which is probably the only way he can afford to have you around. But I wanted to see if there was pictures of the indoor of the structures, because looking at these pictures, they look almost like houses made out of dirt and grass. Norse activity. Okay, what do we have? 2000 CE, assessments that tallies as relative dating of artifact and structure types. Using radiocarbon analysis of the 3 separate tree ring samples and evidence from the anomaly in atmospheric sea concentrations to year 993. The date of Norse activity. Okay. May have been occupied for at least sporadically for perhaps 20 years by the Norse. Not a permanent settlement, but a temporary boat repair facility. She notes that no findings of burials, tools, agriculture, or animal pens, suggesting the inhabitants abandoned the site in an orderly fashion. There's no way to know the site's population at any given time, though the dwellings could accommodate 30 to 160 people. The entire population of Greenland at the time was about 2,500 people, meaning that the Lons Old Meadows site was less than 10% of the Norse settlement in Greenland. It seems highly unlikely that the Norse had sufficient resources to construct a string of such settlements. Today, the area mostly consists of open grasslands, but 1,000 years ago, there were forests that were convenient for boat building, house building, and iron extraction. Remains of 8 buildings labeled A through J were found. They were believed to have been constructed of sod placed over a wooden frame. But... I wondered... It doesn't look like there's... Oh, they recreated it. Damn it. Damn it. Very interesting, though. Where is this, though? North of the archaeological site. Okay, so they recreated it elsewhere. They didn't, like, attempt to recreate the building on it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Eaten this week, 1 large cheese pizza, 2 boxes of cheese sticks, and 1 order of McDonald's. How many of those were in 1 meal? And today's Monday. That means it's yesterday and today, Carrie. All right, guys, let me set up the iPad for y'all really quick because the ad break's going to start any second if it already hasn't, because I can't see OBS right now. Okay. Wait, for a split second. Okay, for a split second, I thought this song was like Power Rangers. Was the bowl of chicken bites? Y'all need to eat today. All I had, or at least Ganon needs to eat today. Unless those chicken bites were today, Ganon. I had a whole lasagna. Really? Wait, how much is a whole lasagna? Is this like a freezer lasagna? Pizza was on Saturday. It was a pizza and half a box of cheese sticks. I ate the other box and half of cheese sticks for breakfast Sunday at the McDonald's yesterday. Carrie, how much did you eat from McDonald's? Hold on, what did you say? And one order of McDonald's. Carrie, you didn't say what that one order was, which makes me think it was one trip to McDonald's and it's going to be like 16 Big Macs. I should consume a flesh or two, I suppose. Have you not consumed anything today, Faye? Do I need to tell the green creature? Does she need to get out the weird pizzas? The ads are jumping. Oh, yep. Okay, I missed the ad starting. Let me give y'all these. And I'll be back in a quick minute. Y'all better not burn anything down, though. And then we'll get right into the cabin factory. I'm probably going to change the category, too, while the commercial's going. All right, guys, I'm so sorry that took so long. I'm so sorry. I got stuck in a conversation with a family member. And I also just got permission to go through her closet. This is gonna be fun. All right. Wait, what is that quote? What is that quote? Scatter. No, get your ass back here. Get your ass back here. Yeah. I just got past a new hoodie that I'm going to start wearing to the gym. The thing that sucks though is it is entirely white. I'm going to be afraid like what colors and stuff are going to come off of things like equipment and floor mats and stuff all over the white hoodie. The pickle hour does approacheth Fairbanks. You are correct. You are very correct. You are very correct. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm going to go ahead and swing over to the game screen while I go ahead and open the game. And we can get this Cabin Factory nonsense a schmovin'. My plain McChickens from me. Gannon. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, little buddy. I'm begging you. Please don't eat plain McChickens. Please go somewhere else to get your chicken sandwiches. Okay, hold on. Let me... And yes, this is what the menu looks like, apparently. I need to change the audio. Game. All right. A profit? What? I didn't... Wait, what? I'm confused. Did I say that? A profit? Huh? Seeing diamond and green as Primo and almost immediately go to say hello, then get sad? Ha! Gotcha, bitch. I'll go to Burger King? That's worse. Oh, I almost like go to Popeyes, but I was like, wait, aren't you... Keenan, I forget. You're not American, right? Doth approacheth? Yes. No, I said approacheth, which is not approacheth. Approacheth. I crave fried pickles now. Good. Listen, we'll fry some pickles when I get there, Faye, and I will also make homemade ranch dressing. I'm a bet two Hershey's Kisses that Gannon was a mid-Kentuckian. Oh, okay, Oregon's fine. That's fine. Why did I think you were in Europe? I know Sunstar is. Why did I think you were like Danish or something? Hi, Ziggy. All right. No more music. Cease the music. Look at my mouse. My mouse is amazing. Okay. I'm scared to hit start and see how loud this game is going to be, even though I'm on like the gaming settings. So I'll have to adjust the audio once it actually starts making noise. Oh, Jesus. Hi. My name's Greta, apparently.
Welcome to the Cabin Factory Corporation.
Hold on a second. Sensitivity is way too high. I'm also going to do a little bit of this real quick. We'll do that. Hold the sprint, show crosshair. This is fine. Head bob 0. Jump scares off. Jump scares on. I got an achievement. Find the optional jump scare button. Does Marin think Hopi lives in Europe? Hopi? Yes, it did just go. It did in fact just do that. But what is Twitch mode? Oh. Okay. What does this do? Do I need... What do I... Okay. Was there a plugin I was supposed to get? Oh, okay. I was thinking if there was like a bunny VTuber or something named that. Okay. Oh, whoops. Apply. There we go.
Pride ourselves in creating the best hyper-realistic horror cabins for the movie and theme park industries.
I have a suspecting feeling that the way her name tag moves, it's not attached to her shirt, it's attached to her skin.
That falsely claims some of our cabins are haunted. It's now
Get
mandatory
out.
to inspect every cabin to ensure the safety of
Don't
all
let
users.
them get in your head. It's not safe.
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't spread over every egg.
Inspections thoroughly and professionally. From the whole
Really?
Cabin Factory
Really?
Corporation family, have a wonderful first day as a cabin inspector. By entering this elevator, you have accepted all the terms of your contract, which may be updated without notice.
What? Also, we were going up. Okay. Well, I'm deaf now. Wait, what was so loud? Shift or inspect the whole cabin. If haunted, turn back immediately and press danger. If safe, press clear. Any movement means the cabin is haunted. If nothing moves, it's not haunted. Okay. Wait. Wait. I want to snoop. Can I go past? Oh, I can't go past. It looks like there's multiple sections here too. Wait. Where we came out of this elevator. What's back here? Ah, darn it. Okay, maybe I can't snoop yet. Maybe I can't snoop yet. Wait, I don't like that. Wait, I don't like that. Zoom. Wait. Voting period starts when the cabin door opens. End on button press. Commands clear. Command danger. Oh. Oh, is it delayed? Are there supposed to be people in here? There's not supposed to be a person in here, right? Hold on, I thought I had hold on, controls. Left click, okay. Okay. God, the lighting, the light coming through the window is a little weird. Hi, froggy friends. Okay, well, it looks like nothing moved. So I think we're good, unless that man is not supposed to be here. Oh, I just have to walk into it. Okay. Clear? 100% clear. Oh, assistance. Okay. Oh. Oh my god, Pinky. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm guessing it's kind of just going to be the same cabin over and over. So it looks like y'all can check it with me and tell me if it's clear or dangerous. Is that radio there before? Oh. deserves it. Why do you do this to me? Nice boat, though. It's a very nice boat. Look at that boat go. Also, does anybody see those green lines on that boat? I don't remember that boat having green lines before. I may need to go play with the filter on that one later. Boat. Boat. All right. Okay. Hello? Hello? Yeah, it doesn't look like I can go in that door. Do I hear footsteps? Okay, I think we're clear, right? I think we're good, right? Totally fine. Totally safe. Also, it does look like there's actually a scoreboard in this game too, if y'all help me. Do y'all see it there? There's Zaga and Ziggy on the scoreboard. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. God, with how vivid that picture is, every time we like get up on the porch and I see her through the window, I hate it. Hello?
The brutal fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods. 2 bodies were found calcinated on Sunday evening after
Calcinated?
divers noticed a huge column of smoke and immediately called 911. When emergency crews arrived just minutes later,
Maud is in the cabin
flames
with
were
us?
still
Yes.
burning. According to our sources, a family of 4 lived in the cabin.
Can we vote for clear? Yeah, exclamation mark clear and exclamation mark danger are the options.
The police confirmed the bodies found on the scene belonged to the parents. The 2 children, a 10-year-old little girl and her 6-year-old brother, have not yet been found in the surrounding areas. The chief of the
Kick my
fire
ass. Hope you're having a
department
good one. I'm
announced the
doing alright,
search
I am.
operation will continue and said she has hopes of finding them alive. It is still unclear how the parents got trapped inside their own cabin, but the police have found clues that may indicate the fire was intentional. A criminal investigation is ongoing.
I'm gonna call that haunted. We're gonna call that one haunted. Yeah.
The fire that burned a family alive took place in an isolated cabin in the woods.
Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to do that. Is radio thing? What do you mean, is radio thing? Oh. Oh, we were wrong. So okay, this functions just like exit 8. I guess we have to get the cabins right. Hyper-realistic horror cabins. But okay. I guess it just can't. Yeah, I guess if something has to move. Wait, what is that in the middle there? Was that there before? So see, that's me. Oh! What? What? Oh, I thought it was in the other room. I guess it was in front of me. Okay, that's my own fault. Okay, so we got a new cabin. Let's go check out the new cabin. So it seemed to like block me in. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. Okay, pardon me, we're just gonna... Yeah. Oh wait, now there's a third option. Y'all can't see it. So apparently there's a third option for death. It's exclamation mark clear, exclamation mark danger, and exclamation mark death. Interesting. Okay. So I'm guessing nothing happens until we go through the door. Oh, that doesn't look good. I swear, if I had turned around, there was like something right in my face right here, I probably would have fucking cried. As soon as, yeah, it's terrifying. It's really well done. So this is... Greta? Hans? Hansel and Gretel. Uh-oh.
What do you think you'll find outside? Absolutely nothing. You want to leave, Greta? That's totally fine. But your brother will stay here. And he will not be happy when he hears you abandoned him. Leave and abandon your poor mother.
Oh! Got a kite. Meow. What the fuck? We are leaving! I thought this was about working a new job, but apparently we are actually getting haunted by our past. We are in fact getting haunted by our past. Whew, all right. I'm sure this will be fine. Hello? I also don't know how this house has a basement. Okay, I think this one's fine. I think this one's fine. Oh god damn, what? No, I'm upset. I'm upset. Okay. No, we can't always go into the basement. It looks like it's only for certain events or only for that one event. And this is the mom. This is a picture of the mom. Okay. I think this one was clear. I'm pretty sure this one was clear. Okay. All right. Can I just go back outside and say it's haunted? Frick but lurk, heck you ghost. Oh, this one's like a dolphin. Well, actually I think it's shark. That monkey moved. I ain't risking that. That monkey moved. Hello. 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 I swear that at some point that painting's gonna move. I'm sorry, chat. I'm faster than you. I'm faster than you. Okay. 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 Nope, 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 nope. Clear, clear, clear. Never mind! Okay, I'm sorry. I was giving y'all some time to put in your numbers since there's a delay. Whew. Okay. Fucking Zagapul's nailing this. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Yeah, that's exactly it, Harness. She wasn't in the painting. Ain't risking that one. That's good enough for me. There was no movement. It doesn't count. It doesn't count if things aren't moving. Fuck. So they're probably, so like while there may be differences and changes, if there's no movement, I guess it doesn't count. I swear, coming around that corner to look at the door is the most terrifying thing after having, like, the little girl blocking it. Okay. So that one was safe. I'm pretty sure that one was safe. Okay. Whew. Oh, come on. What? I like the face he's making. That's a good face. That's a good face. He's still there. I think this one's clear. He has not moved. We're gonna test this theory. I'm pretty sure that's safe. I'm pretty sure that is safe. It's the Chiglin man. Oh no. Okay, yeah. Movement is the most important part. I guess in the one before that one. But, okay. This is fine. Fuck! Motherfucker took... Stop! Cease! Desist! I need adults! Oh my god! I didn't like that either. Do we dare just try to do guessing game? I'm kind of curious. Yippee! Aw. Oh. Many clears after I clicked all of these. Speedrun. Speedrun. Guessing game speedrun. Damn it. Raggle fraggle. Random all clear. Let's do it. Let's do it. We'll swing it. Until my computer blows up for trying to have to render all these cabins. Okay. Is that what we tried? Do we just all clear? Do we just click all clear for like the next 10 minutes and just see what happens? Just see if we get how lucky we can get. Damn it. So what? So what? Oh, Pather? Do it for the love of the game. For the love of the game. Pattern is the word you're looking for. Pattern. Oh, there's two. There's two. Yeah, it seems like this game renders it so that there's never more than at least two identical ones in a row. Two. Two twos. 1 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 2 2 1 2 2 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 2 2 1 1. Okay, there's never more than two. There's never more than two in a row. Oh! Oh, it played me. It played me. But it is interesting to see that it is definitely like predetermined before it comes on. What are the numbers? Mason, what do the numbers mean? Okay. I'm surprised I haven't gotten just like a random achievement yet. I did see good meme for numbers. Like, what do you mean? Listen, is this not what this game's about? Wait, has it stopped blaring at me? Set to play Lobo and Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? What? I wonder if I don't trigger it, will it always just tell me I'm wrong? I think it will. I think if I don't trigger whatever the movement event is, I will always be wrong. So it is impossible to guess. Actually, let me see. Let me see real quick. We're testing this. We're testing this. That one counted. But yeah, I think I have to trigger. Unless it's like right there at the beginning, maybe? Okay, this is very weird. Yeah, maybe there's only certain types that you can guess. Maybe whoever coded this is actually smarter than I give them credit for. All right, let's just do this. We'll go back to playing the game regularly. God, I wonder how many of like the possible options we just swung through. I think that's that stuffed animal in the chair. Bond villager like, ha, gotcha, bitch. I swear I hear breathing. But I think that one's clear. Shipping these cabins to people with people inside of them. I don't know if they're real people. We haven't covered that yet. Like it doesn't say anything. There's the lady in the picture, and the only person that's regularly there is the guy sitting in the chair. But that's it. Okay. And like in that last little flashback, we had like a hint that this may be like our cabin, or maybe this is just some kind of like revisiting childhood trauma. Was there always stuff hanging on this? I'm scared to see if this this guy is going to do something at some point. This game is really getting me. Stop it! Okay. I think the girl spawned behind me, but I don't know if that. Okay, that just counts as haunting. I probably just didn't. Heart rate monitor. Fuck you. God damn it. Oh, hold on. I dropped the strap. Okay. Oakley dokley. All right. Put this on. All that jazz. And then let me make sure Pulsoid picks it up. Oh, Hold on, it didn't connect. Let me see real quick. Take it off, put it back on. Pulsoid again. Okay, connecting. 0, I'm apparently dead. Well, it's on, but hold on a second. Is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. We do that. There we go. Okay. He's like, where did it go? Is my Redeem Doors stream? Yes, somebody did. It scared the shit out of me. Whew. Okay. Okay, yeah. This one's one we haven't checked. You heard it from downstairs? Jesus, do you have it on speakers? Okay. Get to enjoy my new game and one of my favorite streamers. This is a good. Wait, what game did you get, Ghost? Door stream got me. Oh God, where did it get you before? Yay! Okay. I don't like that we like go up and down the stairs like really fucking slow. Otherwise, we like run at a pretty normal speed. Did y'all see the problem? I saw the problem. Did the rest of y'all? Game has been conquered. Game has been conquered. What game? I got Metaphor. Ooh! Middle bundle for the price of what would amount to a newish game, $60. That's not the worst. Yeah, the problem saw me. The problem did in fact see me. Okay, moving on. Question mark. I still heard it from downstairs. Jesus. Okay. Gem. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I think we're good on this one. I think this one is safe. Take the frog. I wish I could take the frog. I wish I could take the frog. I'd be so upset if this is wrong. We're halfway there. I'm gonna be so upset if this is wrong. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. No one knows Gem anymore. Nobody knows Gem anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can't say a door doesn't have a set of pipes. You'd be surprised. Okay. Please be safe. Hold on. I'm going to adjust the heart rate monitor real quick because it doesn't look very good where it is. Put it like there, shrink it a little bit. There we go. Better contrast. Oh no, we're home. Ah, shit. Okay, bye, kiddos. I don't know what that counts as. You can always place the top of your heart in your model. Hold on, you make an excellent point. Let me try something real quick. Let me try something. Up. Does that count as danger? Did anything move? I guess the people were moving inside. Yes, okay, that counts as danger. All right, we'll do that in just a second. Let me test something really quick. I want to grab this. Okay. And then let me try this in. Yeah, this. Hi, YouTube. That's not what I wanted. He just opened a random one, apparently. Some CC. No. There it is. That doesn't seem like it worked. I wanted to see if I could turn it into a web item with one of the more recent updates. But also, I just realized something. Let me tuck this here for a second, because I just realized the ad on the side of that little browser thing was a lingerie ad for some reason. What do you mean then burn it some more? You talking about the cabin? You gotta burn the cabin down? But doesn't look like I can do that. It looks like it actually has to be regular browser pages. It can't be like browser sources and stuff. Darn. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay. Yeah, I guess that actually doesn't change. What does identify do? Oh. NGSoft web items. Enter. Okay. Reload. Oh, no, that doesn't work. All right, get out of here then. Back to this. So we'll call that one danger. Yay! All right, we need 2 more. We need to do this right. We need to get these last 2. Okay. Okay. Things being different. Y'all saw that, right? It wasn't just me, right? We're just gonna, yeah, she was moving. She was looking at me. It was me. It was my character model looking at me. One more. We got this. We fucking got this. Whew. Okay. Okay. Please be an easy one. Please be an easy one. Is there somebody in that bed? I don't remember if that bed was lumpy before. Nope, 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 bye. Please and thank you. Please be correct. Please be correct. Please be correct. That counts as movement, right? That counts as movement, right? That counts as movement, right? Thank God. Oh my God, I can kick him. Hello? Oh. The double push doors. Fire door keep shut. Okay, interesting. Good job. It's time to go home. Your cabin factory family. Oh no. Bird noises. Wait, wasn't I already on the 8th floor? Oh. Game of the year. Game of the year. It's an early 2000s movie. Okay, never mind. It's not over. Nice carpet. Ah, yes. Clean. Oh, no, sorry. Super clean. Again, by International Cat Studios. New York? Wait. Yeah, that's New York. Being nobody. No, poor Greta. No. Froggy. Amazing. Amazing. I was so scared. I was like, we never left the cabin. Also, hi, Kono. Oh. In the astral plane. Oh, no. Back in... What do you mean 25 left? Are we on a different spot? We're in the same spot. Oh. Well, now there's people up there. What does it mean? 25 left. Gotta earn that promotion? Oh, no. All right, we also got ad break, guys. All right, guys, let me get y'all the thingamadoohickey. And then we'll see what this is afterwards. Hi, wireframe. Just a little guy. Just a little guy. Just a little guy coming in. Anomalies you've yet to see. Oh, there's so many. Just makes me think of trying to get all the achievements for, what was it? Exit 8, I think. All right, we'll be back in a couple minutes though, guys. I will give you all the music as soon as I can find it. There it is. And we'll be back in a little bit. Okay. All right, chat. I got a work in progress thing of some new emotes for y'all, and they look so fucking good. They look so fucking good, chat. You have no idea. You have no idea. They look so fucking good. Oh, let me turn the music down just a bit, and we can go see. No banging your head. Not right now. Not right now. We have cabins to inspect. You ready? Save data. Oh. All right. I wonder how this ranking board works. But still looks the same. Still looks like it's about movement. This isn't much like spot the anomaly. It's literally like you almost have to ignore some anomalies. You almost have to ignore some of the things that are different because those don't... Pardon me. Hello? The fuck was that sound? Hello? I'm sorry, I wasn't waiting on that one because I was afraid he was going to come chasing me out of the house like he did that other time. Yeah, Twitch voting's on. See, like right now, we have an anomaly. See, it's different, guys. It's different. But because nothing is moving... Hey, Froge. How you doing? See, it's totally fine. Totally nothing to worry about. Absolutely nothing. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. It's totally fine. See, it doesn't matter. The anomalies don't matter. It's things that move that matters. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, the only thing that weren't upside down were the entryways. Also, oh yeah, I can't see my feet. Interesting. Whew. See, even when there's like drastic changes, then it almost doesn't matter. Because they're... Okay. Okay. That's fine. The painting moved? I don't think the painting moved. Which painting? No, it's not actually moving. Yeah, I don't think it's moving. Just ignore the horrors beyond your comprehension, correct? See? Even though the girl was hanging up there, it's fine. It's totally fine. Whew. Oh no, Harness is on the board, but with 0 points. Wow. Wow. All right. Okay. Let's go. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this free play mode, but I do think this game is actually really good. And I'm pretty sure I got it on sale. Because I already feel satisfied with this game. I already feel like I got my money's worth here. And I have already finished the game. Same thing when it took me forever to beat Exit 8. Because it had the smallest of details. Yes, what can I do for you? All right, I think we're clear. Danger. Wait, what was danger? 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 What was dangerous? Awesome. Hi, Lab Coat. How are you doing? How could this happen to me? Okay. Oh! What? What? What was it? I wonder. Also, why do I hear what sounds like a clock occasionally ticking, but there's no clock in here? See, he didn't move. It's fine. He didn't move, so it's totally fine. Totally fine. The fire burning? Oh, I guess I missed it. Maybe there was something in the fireplace that I missed. Oh, what's that one song? Fire burning on the dance floor. Oh, well. All right. I still wish I could like open this box. That seems like a key box or seems like a key box or something. Hello?
911, what's your emergency? I see, sweetie, but I'm sure they love you. Being a parent can be really hard. Is there anything I can help you with? Are they there now?
No, fuck you. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I did not like the smile she was giving me either. I'm hitting the button. I'm hitting the button. My heart hurts. We're gonna do one more cabin. And then we'll probably try to do something else, I think. I hate this game. Hi, Minty. Yeah, this guy did really good in his, like, atmosphere. And just the unsettlingness of it all. Okay. Okay. Oh, nope. Nope, 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 nope. Whew. So good at this game, chat. We're so good at this game. Oh, Rivet with the 1 point. Rivet, no. All right, though, guys. I think that's all we're going to do for this game. I don't feel like trying to do, like, completionist with, like, seeing every single cabin, especially when it's up to RNG. Best cabin inspector ever. Damn right. Damn right. All right. But, let me see real quick. That raises the question, what are we going to do now? Oh, hold on. Let me move my shelf first. I was going to turn off the heart monitor. My defense, I've only been around for like 3 cabins. That's okay with it. That is a-okay. Yeah, this game's a little... We're going to do our best. Okay. But... Gone back to our own cabin? What would that be? What would that be, though? What do we want to do, chat? Let me give you all the music since we're on the chatting screen again. We could... I'm not going to change the category yet until I think about what exactly we're going to do. I did bring up Awaria before. I don't know if we want to play that. It's not particularly spooky. It just has kind of like ghost themes to it. Damn right, Darcy. Damn right, Darcy. Mibble rivals. We could do more ranked. Egg fried rice. You and Ganon keep bringing up egg fried rice. Egg fried rice though is like what, a 10-minute game? Right? I'm pretty sure egg fried rice is like a 10-minute game. Oh, I don't doubt that for a second. Let me see really quick. I do have Gone Golfing and How Fish is Made, but I have no idea how long How Fish is Made is. Let me see. If I hover 50 minutes, 58 minutes, 60 minutes. So it looks like it takes everybody anywhere between 35 minutes to the most extreme is 100 minutes. Is not long to get all the endings. We probably won't even do all the endings. All right, we'll do How Fish is Made. How Fish is Made. All right. And then let me get this up and running. Get your ass back here, women. I think that's supposed to be woman, not women like plural. So let me do this really quick. Set up the game. Also, why did I play? I just realized I played that in small screen for some reason. Why did I do that? Why did I play that game in small screen? Why do I do the things? Yeah, why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. I think I saw gaming on my OBS and was like, okay. Instead of looking at my full screen gaming. Hey, look, a fish. All right, real quick. We'll leave that as is until I know what the... Ooh. Okay. How was Fish made? Bud? Oh, I am Fish. Oh, hello, you just dropped, huh? Tell me, are you going up or down? You'll have to make up your mind by the end. Even the oiliest of us have to, so don't flatter yourself with your choice. Where am I going? I don't worry about it. So which is it, up or down? Oh. Oh, for sure. But do we go up or down? Where do we want to go, guys? I kind of want to go up because it's red. It's red. You can't see it, but it's just up or down. Up. I think we're going to go up. Are you sure? Yes, we're going up. Okay. By the way, the machine can't talk to you, so you shouldn't talk to it. What machine? Wait, what did it say? What is it? What's the pinch? Up, up, up. You look like a smart guy. You already know the way is one way. The way is up, and ain't no way two ways about it. I've always known it was up. I never asked. I never changed. Never lied. Let me hear you sing it. I like to hear it. Yeah, we're going up. The water has it wrong. The flesh has it wrong. Everything goes up, up, up in the end. Okay. Now who's this guy stuck in the 6-pack? What was that sound? Hi, Donkler. Do not be foiled by that one. He is lost like so many are. We can only poetry them. I see you were all my throne of inspiration. It clung to me suddenly one day, much like all my ideas do, completely and undeniable. Undintable. Oh my god. Completely undintable. No. Take it in as much as you like. It is a confirmation of my most oily brain. Do tell, what blind groping has brought you to your choice? Be forewarned, I did a lot of thinking to know which is indeed the correct way. All answers come to me very quickly, such as my burden. Would you like to know? It might change your entire word view. It is down. Yes, this I know for sure. But how, I hear you ask? Let me explain. No. It is simply too complex for you to phantom. Yes, phantom. The word is phantom. My methods are beyond simple minds. Enjoy their harness. I have never ever thought of a single reason to question myself. Can you believe it? No, you cannot. I am elated to have saved you from making a father embarrassment of yourself. Just think of me as your guide, mentor, and sage. Why were some of those words obviously wrong, but all capitalized? Where did we come from? What did we fall down from? I have so many questions. Why am I a fish? Hey, buddy, how's that corner? Ah! Oh, the way's over there. Okay, bye. Wait, can I go in the water? Can I go in the water? Oh, yes, fantastic. I think I'll just hang out here for a little bit. Okay. This looks like a brain. Okay. Did I accidentally go down? I feel like I accidentally went down. What is? Howdy. Behold. What do we do to deserve bearing witness to such glory? It must mean something. But what? What is it trying to say? I've groped through my noggin, sob. I've eyed every detail. I don't understand the message. There must be a way out of this creature's stomach. The answer is here. It looks down upon us. What is it revealing? Go up. No, I think it's down. Can you see it? I think I can see it. It talks to me. I can hear its approval in the back of my throat. I must get inside. I must be cleansed by this untainted substance. Now what is... No. 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 Hi, Great Crow. Dia. Y'all recognize what that is? What that insinuates? They did warn you? Did they warn me? I totally missed it. I totally missed it. Please tell me it didn't say a pinch of semen. Why are the lights moving? Why are the lights moving? Oh. Doesn't seem like I have any other abilities besides just forward and backward. What are you doing up there, champ? Oh, please help me. It's embarrassing, but I thought I had found the gills of this creature that swallowed us, so I figured I'd wiggle my way out through them. But who would have thought they were not gills? Oh my god. Okay. If it's not too much of a bother, could you unstuck me? Thank you so much for your kindness. Wait, hold on. This is important. Whatever you do, just make sure not to touch that round, red, glowing thing over there, okay? Thanks for water relief. I thought I might be stuck in here forever. Don't touch that. Somebody help me, help. Ah, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go... I don't think there's... Is there any other option with this? I don't think I could get him out. Are they still there? Oh, not this game? What do you mean not this game? I think this is my only option, right? I think that's all I can do. Joel Pride. Okay, hit the button. Hit the button. Delicious. Fish. Okay. Places to be, things to do. Pardon me. It's great. It's horrifying. It does its job very well. I can't watch it being played. What? Oh no. Wait, what's about to happen? What are those? Sacks. We have found sacks. Okay. I also really hope that whatever this is an acid or something. We're just gonna keep flopping our happy way through. It's probably, I think it's oil. I think it's oil. Oh no. Okay, I am still moving forward. I was like, wait, am I not moving forward anymore? Pregante, I'm hungry. My throat's doing the acid reflex thing it does whenever I'm hungry and I just have to wait. You have to go eat something. Pardon me, excuse me, just making our way through. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past them, homebound. Nee. I don't know what that sound was. I don't want to know what that sound was. This game is so many things. What is it? I wanted to just be a flop sim. Oh no, it's the parasite. Aha! What fortune that you dropped into this most productive of places. Him? Why, me and my friendo here go way back. I ate his tongue and we've been co-workers ever since. I'll bet you we have a lot of learnings we can share. I always say you have to get passionate about something. Me? I'm passionate about friendship. I want to be there for people as much as possible. Like my buddy here always says, teamwork is the soul to success. I think that's beautiful. Now, well, by golly, I've been struck by the most brilliant of ideas. Would you mind if I incentivized you with a little musical stylings of my own creation? My friendo does so enjoy a little show tune here and there. All right then, hold on to your gills. This is genius. Genius, I say. Genius! Ultra effective combinations. It's art! It's art! It's safe to eat knowing it's very fine. Yeah. Parasites. Lasagna. Kitten Town living with it. Okay, I need somebody to actually sing this song. Octopus eggs. I'm so sad that they didn't find somebody to sing this for them. Bug dance, bug dance. More parasites. I don't like the dirty Q-tips though. Oh my god. Is it an audition? Oh god, I don't think I understand the beat that they're going for with some of the lyrics here though. I should send it to Issa or somebody. No, we make Finn sing it. That's what we do. We make Finn sing it. Okay. We're just gonna go through totally not something's like esophagus. Look at the mouth. Are you talking about the parasite? I saw the parasite. No, I saw the parasite. That was who sang the song. Oh, my mouth? I can't quite look into it. It seems fine. My mouth seems fine. I don't... Oh. Let's say, why did I stop moving? Flopping my way downtown. I'm a fish, doing fish things and flopping around. Oh, my tongue's gone? Oh, I forgot. I didn't realize I had a tongue earlier. Oh, no. Crab. Oh, it's not crab. It's just a pile of fish. Okay. Pardon me. Excuse me. I'm just gonna... We're just gonna go around the... Oh, God, no! Oh, I forgot what these plants are called. But I hate these plants. Looking at them makes me itch. Oh, no. Why did they have to move? Why did the seeds have to move? Why do you deserve it? What will you be able to live with it? Try again. Oh, those double action hinges have always been there just for you, right? They'll come back. Everyone does. Weak. And you'll go looking one way or another, right? Weak. Ass-ins, not ads-ins phone. Nice. Is the flowers talking to me? Oh, music? Oh. Excuse me, I'm coming through. I'm here to be made into fish. How am I'm already fish. Why do I need to be made? How are fish made? Am I going to learn how I am made? How is fish made? Oh, hi. Is that flowery? Hello. It is time. Choose up. I see. Do you understand yet? This choice that has been given to a worthless critter like you? This is a gift, not the outcome. Did the uncertainty scare you, or does it scare you more to know there is no choice for you at all? Then all of this would have been for nothing. But wouldn't it feel better? Don't flatter yourself. I'll tell you a secret. You've already made your choice. This is not about making a decision. This is a test of conviction. Have you strayed from your path? Have you been honest and true to your truth, even to others? Did you believe me just now? I'm just a fish in an imposing room. Good enough, right? Okay. There's more of those weird sacks on the wall. I don't know what that... I hope that's the back end of another fish. It looks like it is. I sure hope it is. Are you gonna get pulled away, or am I gonna be able to talk to you? Oh my god, you're huge. Is that salmon? It looks like a salmon. Hey, buddy. Kind of a salmon. This is really good, huh? I'll level with you. Ain't real sure I can do it. Did you run into that smart talking fella earlier? He sure did seem to know what he was talking about. Here, I've always been thinking I'm the biggest thing in the water. Look at me now, big old boy shivering like a scamp out of water. Scramp. Scramp! Oh my god, scramp! Wait, nut? Wait, why has nut smelled like that? I thought keeping track of how many fish went in either direction could help. Not sure if it did at all, let me tell you. Reckon you want to hear how many... No. Swim your own way? Damn right. I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I wonder how many, what's the word? How many different endings are there? Is there not more than just 2 endings? I mean, there is a lot of times they do ask if we're going up or down. But we're definitely going up because it's red. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Excuse me, pardon me. You're just gonna go right on up here. I always hated hearing, don't worry, a lot of people are going through the same thing. You're not alone. There's this selfish barbed wire inside my chest that coils up at that. No, my pain is more tragic, grander, deeper, if only you knew. That's not true, of course. I hate talking about it. Because I hate people who talk about it. And that's not very nice. That's not okay. That's not how you can be about all this. It's not romantic, but at least it's true. Don't worry, a lot of people were going through the same thing. And that's what makes it the best USP yet? USP? Thanks for playing. Wait, that's it? Your growing mass is a grand leaking open wound, all thought wails simultaneously. The verge knowing of insignificant brains, complete worldly knowledge curls in on itself into a snarled amalgamation. The weight of information collapses in on itself, vast but useless. This putrid mass rots from within, mauls, dies, impregnates itself to birth more fat, more muscle, more tissue. Nothing can be accomplished for consensus. Cannot be reached. As one, you are swelling god of no purpose, no direction. Where's my mouse? Enter? Oh. I closed the game. Oh. Wait, no, I didn't. Wait, where'd the expansion come from? Hold on a second. Hold on, it closed it and opened a different game. Is that me? Have I become one with the weird fatty stuff on the wall?
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Is going off the charts with this? Wait, what? Okay. Let me out. Let me out. Okay, I was not expecting the just straight pop. Oh no, it's Katamari Damacy. Katamari Damacy. Yum, 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 yum. Yes, yes. Consume. Oh, I forgot to change the audio. That's my bad. Because I have to change the audio because apparently this opened a separate program. More, more, more. Katamari Damacy. Hello? Hello, give me your mass. I think I saw shrimp in there. Hello? Hiya! Oh god, where are those tendrils coming from? Okay, I think we need the other side of this. Gotta go this way. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Gotta keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay. You. Oh. Look at me. Look at you. We've done it. We're special. Bigger. Shinier. And it can only get better. Your eyes will be my mouth. Your tongue will be my fins. More is more is more is more. Devour your smallness. Fill the void. Consume. Consume. Yes, every part of you is part of me. Okay, hold on. I think we covered everything that's in here. I'm freaked out. Why are you freaked out? This game's kind of neat. Consume. I must consume. Chat. Okay, I wonder, can I crash through the wall or something? Because I think I got everything that's in here. Yeah, yes, perfect. I'm going down. I'm yelling timber. Hello. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Ah, there's the bottom. I'm here for pieces. Bits and pieces, if you will. Ooh, okay, I can kind of get up this goop and rip things out of it. Oh, oh, too far. Wait, is there more to this room? Should I follow the light? There's a lot of big fish in here. Oh, who can I talk to? Oh, oh my God. Curly? Wait, what was his name? Was it Curly? The captain? It's easy to get on this boat when you have to. You say to yourself, this is just temporary. Just until I get what I need. Got bigger things planned. Then suddenly you're 1 year in, 5 years in, 10. First I couldn't stand the constant noise. Now I can't sleep without it. A lot of things can't follow you out here. But it also means the outsider world moves on without you. Won't even notice until it's too late. Yep, this is the same problem he had. No, this is the same stuff. Easy to get on, hard to leave. Consume! I wish to consume. Okay, so maybe I need to eat more things. Oh yeah, I definitely need to eat more things. Oh, I summoned this pile. Pulled him out of the meat pile. Yes, excellent, yes. Consume. Consume? Okay, hold on. I want to know what these rails over here are. I feel like this is something I can ride across. Am I big enough? Oh! Fantastic. Oh, nope, I'm not wide enough. Oh, shit. Oh, well. Hello? Okay, I fall back onto it. That's good. Alright, so we're gonna go this way. God, the bumps. I'm stressing out. I'm stressing out. Yes. Yes. More mass. More food. Ooh. Balloon. Oh, balloons. Uh-oh. Oh, and I can't pick up the balloons. What's up, fat stuff? Oh my God, you are huge. No, don't touch nothing. This is mine. Find your own. Hee, I'm having such a great time. Goody goody. Who knew such a thing existed? Who knew how good it could be? Shiny, shiny, shiny. I got the shiny on the inside. Nothing can compare. Grabwa, grabwa. Come with me. I don't need you to get big. Look at me, the biggest. You ain't got the shiny like I do. You don't understand. You'll just have to pretend. Grua. Munch, munch, munch. This is happiness. Consume. I should be eating you, bleh. Yes. Also, that's a meat cake. I just realized that. Anyway, we're just gonna go. We're gonna take our big buddy here. Why can I smell this? I'm so sorry, Midnight. I'm so sorry. Okay, well, we got it. Okay. Dot, 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 dot. Wait, can I not find Curly again? No, meow. No, meow. Hold on, can I get up on the edge here and see if I can find... Oh. Wait, did it change? What is that over there? Oh, we'll go down here. Because I think this is going to lead me somewhere. Hello. Hello, give me your... Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh. Hi, child. Leave. Do you want to hear a joke? 3 men are in the hospital. The first man cries, I lost both my hands. They told me I'll never work again. Second man wails, I lost both my legs. They told me I'll never work again. Third man, he rejoices, I lost my hearing. They'll never be able to tell me I'm fired again. Good one, huh? Still can't consume. I still can't consume. Okay, can I do something with this? Am I pulling it down? Is that what's happening? Hiya! Okay. Was he gone? Looks like he's gone from the hole now. Yo. Yo. I'm falling into the void. Please and thank you. Welcome back. Okay, is there something back here? So yeah, there's something spinning down there. Is this the top of a, like, sausage machine? Is that what this is? That's kind of what it looks like. All right. We should certainly be big enough to do this. Yeah, let's go. Whee! You know what? This is a great game. This is a great game. I'm glad this dev got noticed for mouthwash. Because this is an amusing game in its own way. Into a chair and into a table. Boo! Oh, no. Oh, speaking of mouthwash. Head. Oh, I can't pick up that head. These pieces I can pick up, though. Delicious. Excellent. Yes. I must consume you and add you to my biomass. Hey, buddy. What you doing up here? I want to go back. Oh, why'd I come here? Belonged that other place? I want to go up or down. Wait, no. Or was it left or right? I was stupid to think it could be different. Sure, it was scary, but now I'm all alone. Look at you. Take me back there. I can help. I can see perfectly clearly. Nothing can touch us if we're together. You're just like me. Take me with you. Oh, I can't consume him yet. Okay, pardon me while I go. I must consume other things. Although I don't like the audio slowly egging me on. Okay, can I go up and over the mouthwash? Yes! Excellent. Excellent. Audio, please. Audio, please. I don't like that. I don't like the slow building of static. Tyranid? I mean, I did play Zerglings. I did play the Zerg in, what's it called? In StarCraft. Okay. I think I got pretty much everything. Come here. Get up hill. Darn it, I don't have the momentum. I'm too fat. Huh. Okay. Consume. Everything goes round and round again. Yes, it always goes around and round here, okay? That's all you need to know, buddy. Okay, can I, like, go up and over? Okay, no, that seems like an invisible wall. Yeah, because it looks like there's kind of like a sort of wall around here, so I think that's everything I can do here. I think I need to go back. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god, I got big. I didn't even realize that. Jesus. Oh. Ah, yes. Okay. May I consume you now, Mr. Curly? Next comes spite. First it stares back at you in the mirror. Then it's those around you. They're wearing your face and your theirs. Bleh. You know, he joined because of me. What were the words I used? All right. It's a great opportunity. Easy money, just a trip or two. Someone else's words in my mouth. Here, worked on me as well, right? Change hurts, but worse things fester for a long time. I told him as much. I tried, I really did. We're defined by our past, but not slaves to it. We said tomorrow until we'll be different. Today would be the last day, the last one. The last one, and then another, and another, and another, and another. Consume! This was a trailer. This was the trailer. can't help but wonder. Horth. Whoops, I'm afraid you weren't supposed to see all that. Just never mind, don't give it a thought. Not a one. Hey now, I got something that'll really flap your fins, partner. It's available now, god damn it. It'll be a swell time all around. Other games ain't worth your time. I know that if nothing else. I'll look out for you, my buddy, my pal. Same as always, tell everyone. You see, not wishlisting or playing mouthwashing is a clear sign of weak character and demonstrates a lack of initiative to succeed. Uh-huh, got it, chat? Go get mouthwashed. Go get mouthwashing. All right, now, don't let me catch you without even a wish list. Not doing so would practically be a crime. See what I'm saying? I'd hate to see my friendo here get angry with you. Ooh, boy, does it rile him up something fierce. Splendid, knew I could count on you. Only good times ahead. Okay.
Making a mother of all omelets here, Jack. Cast bread over every egg.
I did it. I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. All right. All right, guys. I think we're actually gonna call it a little bit short. It's just short of 3 hours. If I had done the whole stream where it was like Marvel ranked or anything, I probably would have been fine with that. But we didn't. Instead, we did like 2 other spooky games, and I don't want to do a drastic genre shift just because I don't know. That always feels weird for a stream when it's like we're gonna play a couple spooky games, and then we'll jump in. And what rank are you? Silver 3, I think. Silver 3, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I'm Silver 3. Don't quote me on that. Actually do quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it's Silver 3. I'm at the highest, I'm Silver 2. I'm pretty sure though I'm Silver 3. But we will be back tomorrow, guys. We're gonna call it a little early today. Let me see. Veggie is playing Half-Life 2. What else is some other folks doing? Ash is doing... Oh, it's taking forever to load. Okay, she's working on other people's headshots. Animal Crossing. I think I'm gonna throw y'all into Veggie's Half-Life thing, because he's apparently doing something called the Mystery Mod, which I think is, if I remember correctly, they basically started this campaign with just random mods installed from the community or something like that. Just play your words, no shift in genre then. Oh my god, you fucking goob. All right, guys, though, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll try to give you a little more to do tomorrow. We'll give you a little bit longer stream. We'll probably try to go for 5 hours tomorrow. At least 4, guaranteed 4. I will do my best to do 5. But we will see. Until next time, though, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for writing out 2 little spooky games with me. I actually really like that Cabin Factory one. It almost certainly like reusing assets and stuff because it was from Unreal. It looked good and it was fun. I do recommend it if y'all want to pick it up and y'all are fun to have like really enjoy like spooky puzzle games. I would go play it. It's great. It's fantastic. Have a good night, though. Actually, we need a raid message. We need a raid message quick. What are we doing for raid message? What are we doing for raid message? Crime Brulee? Crime Brulee. Crime Brulee. Hey, chat, super secret. We'll have another emote for that later. We'll have a new emote for Crime Brulee, for the Crime Brulee raid alert later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And then tomorrow will be the last stream of the year, as well as what's it called? The end of the year thing for Twitch. So I may try to come up with something for that for shits and giggles with Gun. That wasn't the one I was talking about, but there is one of those. But until next time, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for enjoying the show. Enjoy. Have fun with mocking Veggie. He's also hilarious, so give him some love.